Hi everyone, welcome to DIY Ideas. Today we have another knitting project to do together. We will be doing a colorful loop scarf today, and we're gonna be doing it in a really nice ribbed pattern. So as you can see, it's pretty easy to do, and that way it's also good for beginners. These needles here are all you need, and the wool I'll show you in a moment, so stay tuned. I'll start with this rainbow colored scarf. It has some lovely shades in here, as you can see. So I already found the beginning thread from the middle, that way it's always easier to work with. And here is the first color that we have. So this is the Palazzo Color Special Edition. So it's again one spool, one scarf. You see the colors on here as well in a little example. And then we have 100 grams or 3.5 ounces and 100 meters or a bit under 200 yards. 7mm needle is recommended, and I'll be using my 8mm needle, a bit bigger. So yeah, that's our material. Apart from that, we need our knitting needles as well and some measuring tape. So we will be doing rounds this time, so that's where the line comes in. And then we will have a total length of 80 centimeters or 30 inches. And yeah, we're doing rounds this time, so let's get started right away. We will start our first round with the stitches, and I measured here 3 times 80 centimeters, so 240 total, or 90 inches or 3 times 30 inches if you like it that way. And that's what we need for the beginning now, but if you want to make it smaller or bigger, go ahead and adjust. Just make sure it's 3 times the length of your line and your needles all together, so from one end to the other. So take the end closer to the spool and make it go around your 2 fingers like this. And that's how we get this kind of pretzel shape. And then you take your needle, you go through and you pull, and that's your beginning. Okay, so now let's take the side closer to the spool like this, around the thumb. Go through here and around and pull. And let's do one more stitch. It's actually pretty simple after a couple of tries. And then just repeat this step until you have your length done. So here are my needles and my line filled with stitches. It needs to be an even number. I recommend checking to prevent mistakes. And now we are taking our needle from our right hand, and that has both of the threads, the green beginning and the current red thread. So take the red one, adjust your position if needed. Make sure you're comfortable when you work this. And go into the first stitch and do a regular knit stitch. After that, we follow with a purl stitch. And we just keep changing knit and purl, and again knit and purl. That's how we get the rib pattern. So as you can see, real simple. Just take your time and don't pull too tight so that it looks nice and neat in the end. And you can kind of see the ribs maybe, but I'll do the whole first round, and here I'll show you what I've got. Here is the first round, so it kind of spiraled into itself when I let it, but all in all, this is what we have. So we can move on from here. So grab your needles again, and notice the last stitch that I did. So make sure that yours is as well as mine purl-wise. And the first will again be a knit stitch, and then we will simply continue just like we did so far. So I'm gonna mark this beginning stitch just so I know where I am. This is actually optional, you don't really have to take care about that if you don't want to. So anyway, let's continue now until we finish the whole spool. So always remember to change from knit to purl and again from knit to purl. So you can maybe tell what the pattern looks like, but it will be easier to see later when we do more. So I did a couple of more rows, and here are my stitches. You can notice the ribs nicely. So the knit stitches are the ones sticking out, and the purl stitches are kind of hiding behind them. Also, on the other side, you can see the same, but here the purl stitches are sticking out. So kind of, let's say, the opposite from the other side, so from here. So a pretty elastic and stretchy pattern. Anyway, let's close and finish our whole spool so we can have a look at the end result and see what that looks like. So I finished the whole thing now. I have just a tiny bit left over, but not enough for a whole new row. And now we just need to cast the stitches off. So I'm at the beginning of the next row or at the end of the last one. So you can simply pull one stitch over the next one to cast the stitches off. If you are a bit unsure, feel free to follow my lead. Take your time with this, you're almost done. And you see the distance between them. And just do the whole round to the marker again. So we have just 3 stitches left over. And this was the last stitch. Now we can pull the thread out and we can shorten it or cut the rest off. We won't be needing that anymore. And I also wanted to show you a little trick here, how to hide the beginning thread or the end thread as you wish. But the scarf is indeed done. You see the beginning and end row nicely as well. Take the marker out and just pull the thread through the next stitch. And then you can just pull it back into the previous one. And you see that you can't really tell the difference anymore, which means that we can now weave this in as well as the beginning thread and the green we started with. And now we are officially done. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to let me know how you like the result. If you did this yourself or if you tried it, feel free to let me know how you found it, if it was rather easy or rather difficult. I'd love to hear some feedback from you. So, thanks for watching DIY Ideas. Feel free to shoot a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in our next idea. Until then, have a great day!